Okay, so I have already primed my eyes with Urban Decay Primer Potion to prevent my eyeshadows from creasing and fading. And I'm going to use the eyeshadows now. I'm starting off with the lightest of the shades, and I'm going to be applying it with a really big fluffy eyeshadow brush all over my lid. This eyeshadow is basically just a very light beige with quite substantial shimmer and a little bit of a pink tint to it. It's kind of like a pink undertone more than anything else. And I'm just applying that all over my lid. This will set the Urban Decay Primer Potion, which is notorious for being difficult to blend eyeshadows onto, and it will give me a nice smooth canvas to blend the other eyeshadows onto. Okay, this is a very simple look, by the way. Now I'm taking this color, which is Tempting. It's in the Permanent collection. I'm not sure if this is in the Permanent collection, but this is definitely in the Permanent collection. It's called Tempting, and it's a luster formula, so expect fallout. And I'm just taking it on a tapered blending brush, tapping it onto the just the end of the tip of the bristles, blending that into my crease, above it, and I'm also going to be putting it near my lash line. If you're not into very bright colors, this is a wonderful palette if you just want to do a neutral everyday look. And Tempting is kind of a medium beige, which is kind of khaki. It's got a khaki undertone to it, for reference. None of these neutral colors are really kind of that unique. I believe you can find similar colors in many other collections of different brands. So now I'm just blending it near my lash line. I do have to say these blend really well, exceptionally well. I am switching to a really large flat eyeshadow brush, and I'm going back to this lightest shade, and I'm just going to reapply a little bit of it on my brow bone just to highlight it more than it is already highlighted, and to kind of clean up the line from the Tempting eyeshadow. Back to my tapered blending brush, and I'm just going to once again blend the contour shade into my highlight so there's a nice kind of smooth transition and not some kind of a harsh line or too clean a line, so it doesn't look kind of artificial, like I photoshopped it on. Okay, now I'm taking a pointy crease brush, which is quite dense, and I'm going to take this darkest color in the palette, just on the tip of my brush. For reference, this is kind of a cool toned medium to dark brown color with just a little bit of kind of, not really shimmer, but a sheen to it. It's a satin formula, so put quite a lot of it on. I keep forgetting that these are actually quite pigmented. Okay, so I'm switching. I'm going to see if I can blend this out, so I'm just switching to my blending brush, and I'm going to go back and forth in the hope that I can actually blend this out and not have to redo my whole eyeshadow application. Come on, MAC brushes, do your job. Because I want definition, I'm just not sure if I want that much definition. And that just shows you how pigmented the eyeshadows are. And I think I managed to do it. No harsh lines. Definition. Now the question is, are my eyes symmetrical? Yeah, pretty much. I'm actually going to add a little bit more just to my outer V. I want this to be a neutral look, but kind of a strong neutral look at the same time, so by virtue of using neutral colors I can kind of make the application more intense, and it's still going to look quite natural. I'm going to take a flat shader brush, and I'm going to once again take the lightest shade from the palette And I'm just going to tap that in my inner corner. Because I want this to be kind of lighter. And while blending on the contour colors, I definitely lost some of the pigmentation from this shadow. And I'm just kind of bringing it slightly into my lid, like so. Liner time. I am using Clinique, and I'm using their cream shaper for eyes in the color Egyptian, which is just a cool toned, very dark brown with just a little bit of gold flecks to it. It's very pretty. Now these I highly recommend. They go on very, very easily. You don't have to tug on your eyelid to get the color on. I wouldn't say they stay put on their own for a long time, just because they're a cream formula, so I wouldn't really expect that. But if you set it with powder, it will stay on for as long as you want it to. And by powder, I mean some kind of powder eyeshadow, obviously, not just translucent powder. Although with really translucent powder, you could even pull that off, probably. So I'm just making a very thin line near my lash line. And this shade really complements the dark edge, the darkest of the contour colors, because it's basically the same shade and kind of a similar formula. Okay, I'm just going to kind of clean up the line at the side of my eye, like so. I'm going to set the cream shaper for eyes by Clinique with the darkest from the shades from this palette. And I'm using a kind of a fine point eyeliner brush. So I'm just putting a little bit of the darkest eyeshadow directly onto my liner. If you haven't kind of mastered a thin line when you're using eyeliner, this is also a way to kind of make up for that, because by putting a clean line of powder over kind of a sketchy eyeliner line, you're going to kind of smooth it out and clean it up a little bit so it's more precise. Right. And my upper lid is complete this way. I'm just going to add mascara. I am using Clinique High Impact Mascara because I got a really generous sample at Sephora. And then I'll show you what I did on the rest of my face. Okay, so on my lower lash line, I am using a pencil by Gosh. This is one of their Let's Twist waterproof pencil eyeliners, and this one is in the color Kamikaze, and it's an acid or a lime green color, which really resembles this color, at least in the pan. So I am just drawing a fine line with it. Today is the first time that I've used this product, and I actually really like it. It goes on really easily. It's creamy, no tugging. I am using a slanted eyeliner brush. Okay, so I'm just gently placing the sharp eyeshadow over the liner. This will set the liner, will make the sharp eyeshadow show up that much more, and will make it more green than yellow. And I'm done. This completes my neutral eye with a pop of acid green on the lower lash line. I'm going to zoom out now and show you what I did on the rest of my face. And this is actually the completed look. Now I wanted the green, acid green eyeliner to stand out most, so I went easy on the rest of my features. And on my cheeks, I used a little bit of blush by Clinique. This is their blushing powder brush in Innocent Peach, and it's just a completely matte apricot color, which is very flattering, especially for people with red undertones, because it kind of gives you this natural flush effect without looking ruddy, so it kind of counteracts the redness that you have in your skin, like I do. And on my lips, I just used a very simple gloss by Max Factor, and this is their Silk Lip Gloss in Peach Glow, which is kind of a rosy peachy color.